3 surprising lessons that have literally saved my life, saved my business, kept me here, brought me to this point where I can share it with you. Otherwise, I would be sitting behind a desk in a corporate job, 9 to 5, doing something that I probably wouldn't have enjoyed as much. So I discovered them in very hard ways. And I really, really wish I knew them before I started. And I hope that these lessons have come to you in time and that they can save you from curveballs, from seeing unforeseen circumstances, and also get you better prepared for any of those things that might happen. This is your host, Dyutama, but you can call me DJ. And I love to inspire food photographers to dream. I spent 15 years as an architect studying buildings and constructing hospitals before taking the biggest leap of faith of my life, which was setting up a food styling and food photography business right from scratch. If you're a dreamer like me, wanting to start a new photography business or grow your existing food photography business, jump right into a world where I share practical, actionable strategies to improve your photography skills, to work with clients, make more money, all with a fearless mindset. This is the My Food Lens podcast, and we take you one step closer to your dreams. So let's go. Today's episode is a very special episode. But before we begin, I just want to say that your feedback on the podcast, your rating, your reviews, they have been absolutely incredible. I read all of them, and you have no idea what a boost it gives me every time I read them. In fact, it helps me to create even bigger, better episodes for you. Now, you know that it takes a lot of work to be able to put out these episodes really like week after week. And so before we begin, I just want to make a small request. If you could just spare 30 seconds of your time to rate the podcast on the platform you're listening. Let's say you're on Spotify, please click on the 3 dots next to the bell sign on our podcast page, and please rate the show if you found it helpful. And if you're on Apple, please, please, please just spend 1 minute and write maybe 1 sentence or 2 sentences of review for us, how this podcast has probably helped you or why you enjoy it. It'll help us reach more people. It'll keep me inspired, motivated, and I'll be able to bring better content to you. All right. So I started by saying that today is a very special episode. And today is a special episode because today we celebrate a milestone that I had not even imagined in my wildest dreams. Oh my God. Have you ever had the feeling that you've done something that you didn't know would happen one day? Like, you know that feeling, right? So today we hit 100 episodes on the podcast. Now, this is insane. Why do I say this is insane? Because when I had started podcasting, I had read that 47% of all podcasts produce less than 3 episodes. Can you imagine? Less than 3 episodes, and they can't make it beyond episode 3. And some that do make it beyond episode 3, they quit because they can't continue beyond episode 7. So podcasts basically have 94.7% chance of failure, and only 11% of the total number of podcasts in the world make it beyond 50 episodes. And here we are with episode 100. Oh my God. This whole thing, it just started with a gut feeling. I was sitting on my desk and I was just saying this out loud that I think I need to start a podcast. And look at this. Crossing 100 weeks, it feels so unreal. And that's why I want to tie this whole thing into today's, what we are going to talk about on the episode today. But before that, I have to do the most important thing. And what is that? I want to thank you. I really want to thank you for being a part of this journey. It's really been a tough ride. And you have seen me. You've seen me through the thick and thin. You've seen me take this tough ride because producing a podcast does take blood and sweat. I'm not kidding. It's a full-time job. And when I had started, I had idea how much work it would be. But I'd also no idea that one day I'll be celebrating 100 episodes. Like that was definitely not something in my mind when I started. I just started because it was such a strong feeling inside me. And in spite of burning out, falling into financial issues with the production of the podcast, falling into people issues with the podcast, running out of time, running out of energy, we have been able to stand strong against all these tests and curveballs that have been thrown at us. And my biggest lesson that has come from all of this is that if you're trying to run or if you're even trying to walk, falling is inevitable. You will fall. But be the runner who falls and then gets up and continues to run, and do it as many times as you fall. If you're willing to get up as many times as you fall without giving up, boss, success is a guarantee. Not a thing in the universe can come in between you and your success. And that's been my biggest lesson of podcasting for 100 weeks against all odds, all tests of time, all kinds of curveballs. All right. So if this is one thing that you will take away or you can take away from this episode, please do that. Be the runner who falls, then gets up and just starts running again. It's as simple as that. And that's all that it takes to find success. All right. I think this is going to tie in so beautifully with what we are going to talk about today. And I want to tell you that what I'm going to share are actually lessons that I wish I knew earlier. I have learned them in a very hard way. Boss, I have learned them at the verge of quitting photography. All right. And that's why I say that these are things that every food photographer needs to know and should know if they want to build a strong mindset, a strong business, stay in business, grow in business, and basically be successful. You don't just want to drag your feet and get dragged by the way things are. You want to drive it. And if you are passionate about a creative career as an entrepreneur, boss, these are lessons that I'm sure if you have been enough in business, you probably may already know them. But if you haven't come across, boss, I'm telling you right now that I wish I knew them. Basically, it would have saved me tears, lots of dollars, and self-doubt and time. I think I would have saved onto so much wasted time in a lot of things. So here we go. 3 surprising lessons that will help you actually build a strong mindset and a strong business. Okay, so we're going to go from something more easy to something more complex. All right, we're going to work our way up through these lessons. So let's just start with a simple lesson, but a surprising lesson and something that, at least in the beginning of our journey, most of us don't know this. And that is that talent is the smallest contributor to success. What is the biggest contributor to success? Discipline, 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 discipline. I can't say it enough. I realized over time that my talent, my photography skills, they basically did get me a few clients. And especially in the beginning, of course, you need to have the photography skills for people to be able to recommend you, find you, like your work, all of those things. So talent and photography skills definitely got me my first few clients because people knew me from my work. They were seeing me on Instagram. So your work is important. And the word got around and I was hired because of my skill and talent in the beginning. But what I realized over the years was that growth does not happen from skill and talent. Actually, I'll say that one more time. I'll say it in a different way. Growth doesn't happen just from talent and some skill. So basically, success comes from taking action and taking action every single day or on a regular basis. If that is not every single day, it's on a regular basis. Success basically does not come from being the best food photographer in the world, someone who can take the most artistic and most beautiful photos. It actually comes from having a very disciplined way of showing up every day, creating regularly, taking action every day, pursuing the work you want to create with intention, and keep doing your due diligence every single day or regularly. Discipline is the key, and there is no doubt about it. There are no two ways about it. The most amazing food photographers, they may not have a thriving business, And those who have a thriving career may not be the world's most amazing photographers. So you have to separate out your skill and talent in photography from discipline, because on one hand, you have to teach yourself how to take good photos and how to be skillful about your techniques. But at the same time, you have to have, I would say you would have to have an iron vest on you at all times, because boss, you have to be the most self-motivated and disciplined person if you want to stay in business and make money and be profitable and run it your way. All right. If you're able to do this, success is a guarantee. In fact, if you want, success to be a guarantee, then the number one thing you need to embrace is that it will take discipline. Do the work day in and day out, because discipline trumps talent. And that's all, my friends. If you can embrace this little lesson, which I have learned in a very hard way over the years, if you can embrace this lesson that discipline is what is going to take you forward, that's it. Your mind is already powerful and strong, and you are so well set up for success. So just remember that we spend a lot of time, honing our photography skills and talent. And we think that the better we get in our photography skills, the more successful we will be. Not really. Become disciplined in how you work and show up in your business. Don't let your feelings come in the way. Show up even and in spite of what you feel. All right. And then look at success come find you. All right. So that was definitely one surprising lesson for me, because when I started, I thought, oh, all I need to be is a really good photographer and I'm just going to crush it. Well, guess who got crushed? This girl. And that's why I have developed a lot of personal habits that actually help me create a lifestyle of discipline. And I've mentioned that in many of my past episodes, and I'll do it one more time. And one of them is working out. I exercise every single day. I wake up on weekdays. I wake up at 5 o'clock. I go running, swimming, walking, Pilates. I do whatever. I work out 6 days a week. And on Saturday mornings, when everybody in the world kind of wants to sleep in and be cozy and be tucked in, I wake up at 3:45 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I start running, and I go for long runs, 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers, sometimes 12 kilometers. And then I swim for another kilometer or so. And I spend the first 3 hours of my day doing the most grueling, physically intense activities at a time of the day on a day where no one else would be willing to do it. And for me, that makes me feel strong. It makes me feel like I'm in control. And it also kind of emphasizes the habit of being disciplined. And I bring that over into my business, how I show up, how I do things on a daily basis, everything, showing up every single day. So I've said this before, and if it resonates with you, do something in your personal life that kind of encourages discipline, which means showing up every day and doing the same thing or doing it regularly, something that is a bit uncomfortable that, people would probably not want to do, and try to bring that component of your nature into your business. And that will definitely be one of the key ingredients that will get you to success. So remember, discipline trumps talent. Let's talk about the second surprising lesson. So it's kind of tied into the first surprising lesson. You know how we said that, oh yeah, you need photography skills, but you also need discipline. Discipline is a lot to do with mindset, right? So what you must take away from that is that your mindset is what is going to take you forward. Everything else is second. Just remember that. And as you move forward in your journey, whether it's photography or business, you will know and you will realize this yourself, that mindset is everything. All right. But when we step into the second layer, what is the second layer? The second layer is about our skills and our technique. So a second surprising lesson that came to me was that this journey will be a lot about constant learning. Okay. There can never be a time where I will have to stop learning. And that constant learning would sometimes be maybe technical photography, sometimes maybe business, and sometimes life skill. Life skill is as important in business as it is in life. All right. I have spent more money investing in learning business and life and mindset skills as a food photographer. And you know what? I'm sure you've heard that episode. I had an episode with Sam Adler, and we were talking about, how to be a six figure, how to make 100,000 and more in your business as a food photographer. In fact, she is going to be a millionaire food photographer, making 1 million a year. So pretty cool, right? And one thing that Sam mentioned in that episode was she said, I think out of everything in my business, the one thing that I have worked the most on is my mindset. I don't think I've worked on anything more than my mindset. So what I'm saying here is a lesson for me through this journey was that this journey is going to be all about constant learning, and that learning will have to come in different forms. Sometimes it'll be photography, sometimes business, but a lot about life and mindset. And upgrading our photography technique actually only gets us so far. And after a while, you'll realize that you pretty much have a hang of it. You know where you stand, all right? And what you will also realize is that we actually need to invest in what we need at every stage. And the requirement of every stage is very different. All right. I started with learning photography, but then I invested in learning business. And then when I hit that, devastating phase of burnout where I decided that I will quit food photography, I was on that verge of taking that decision. I went and invested in a time management course. And it wasn't just like any course. It was a pretty damn expensive course, man. It was like a full blown business course. It was thousands of dollars. And what was the course on? Time management. But if I hadn't taken that course, I would not be here today. And I can really say that with all my heart. I learned so much about discipline and organizing my time and automation and systems and mindset. Like I have never hit burnout again since then. Now that is something, right? So one of the surprising lessons for me in this journey was that I will continue to have to learn, but my learning will not always be directly related to my business. It will have to be sometimes life skills, life lessons, mindsets, or it could be anything, but it's not just going to be limited to photography. And that is something that we have to be ready for. We have to be ready to spend the money and to invest in something that we don't see a direct relation with bringing in revenue. So, you know how if you would buy a business course in food photography, immediately, let's say you spend $1,000 on the business course, your mind would be going like, okay, like, can I make those $1,000 back? And then you'll be like, yeah, of course, if I learn these business skills, I can pitch to some clients and I can make more than $1,000. So this investment is worth it. But how do you justify the cost like this when it's a time management course? It's not going to be a straightforward correlation. I mean, there is a correlation to it. When you get your time back, you're more productive, you'll be able to do more work, and ultimately you'll be able to bring in more revenue in your business. And yes, that is there, but it's not as straightforward as I put money in business skills and I get money back in my business. All right. So many a times you will be put in a situation or you will come across a situation where photography and business learning and courses are not going to come to your rescue. You will have to put your money down on life skills and life lessons and mindset courses. And at that time, don't hold back. Do it because it will keep you in the game. It will make you stay in business. And in fact, I will say this with full confidence, it will double, triple, or even 10x your business if it's the right course and the right thing that you need at that right time. Life lessons can 10x our business. So don't ever underestimate them. All right. So that was the second surprising lesson, that our investment in courses and learning can come in a way that does not directly relate to food photography techniques or business. All right. Are you ready for the third surprising lesson? Okay, now this one I said we're going to move from the easy to the complex. All right. So this one is a bit complex, but stay with me. I just feel like so many of you are going to just completely resonate with this, but at the same time, it's complex. So stay with me as I go through it. I want to begin with a story of how I actually came across this lesson or how this lesson came to me. All right. So I was just like second year into food photography, 2 years in food photography, and I was meeting a cousin. Now he was visiting Singapore and I had not seen him for many, many years, but he was aware that I had switched from architecture to food photography. All right. So there we were. We were in this Mexican restaurant having margaritas and this tasty fajitas, and everything was like delicious and fun and lively. You know how Mexican culture and food and the ambiances, right? So we are in that vibe, and he looks at me and he says, "Didi." So Didi is older sister in Hindi. You're a food photographer. You're a freelancer, right? You're freelancing, right? And I think I choked. I looked at him and I was like, I couldn't answer. I choked. I felt so uncomfortable. There was something he said which was so true and yet so uncomfortable for me that I could not even open my mouth to say yes. And later on, I realized why. It was a real revelation to me. Why I was so uncomfortable when he said, Didi, you're a food photographer, you're a freelancer, right? You're freelancing. And my lesson in that was that I was not a freelancer. I did not consider myself a freelancer. I never called myself a freelancer. I was a business owner. So someone calling me a freelancer, something just made me so uncomfortable. And that is because in my mind, there is a huge difference between being a freelancer and running a business. So, I mean, can you get the vibe of the two words, freelancer, business owner? Now, please know that I'm not getting into something technical between freelancing and business owner. Okay. This is not a technical difference, but this is a mindset difference. It is a emotional difference. And this emotional difference can actually really matter, really matter in how you see yourself in your business. And I'm not kidding. This is the most common shift that every successful food photographer who has made a name for themselves has had to make. They have had to make this shift in their emotions and the shift in their perspective between being a freelancer and a business owner to find success. And that's why I want to tell you that I don't know how you feel about it, but when someone calls me a freelancer, I don't like it. I get really uncomfortable. And that's what happened. I just didn't know it. All right. So in my mind, basically, freelancer and running a business is a very different thing. And if we really get into it, like freelancers, who are freelancers? Freelancers are, they can basically earn fast cash. And, while business owners, they move slower because they are building something and there is a greater potential for growth. It's not about just moving from project to project to project. Okay, one client here, one client. That's not a business, but business owners actually have a long-term vision and they're not reactive. Basically, they don't just go from job to job to job. And it's not just jobs that come to them or are offered. It's about knowing what jobs they want to pursue and to go after those jobs and to find those jobs and to do the things that will actually bring substance and growth and money into their business. It's about being proactive and aligned and having the vision for a creative career. That's how I see a business owner. Having other segments, like not just a photography element, but having other segments like an email list or this podcast or free resources, paid resources, courses. These are all different segments of a comprehensive business, which serves a purpose. All right. So what I'm getting at is that the way a freelancer operates is very different from the way a business owner operates. The way a business is approached is very different from the way a freelancer would approach their work. All right. A business is robust, well rounded. It has many different components, like I said, like the email subscriber list or podcast or many resources, which is actually aimed at creating brand awareness, serving the community, and just has this sense of growth to it. All right. A freelancer may not necessarily have these segments. It's not necessary. Also, having a team to be able to grow and move. Any big business, think about Apple and Microsoft and Sony and Louis Vuitton, and just look at any brand and a business, obviously it's not a one man show. All right. They have a team. So that is what the vision was of me in my mind. But on the outside, when somebody calls me out and says, you're a freelancer, oh my God, that margarita did not go down my throat well. All right. I know that, a few years ago, I actually set up a team and I hired a few people to help me out with the podcast production because it was a lot of work. And as a freelancer, I may not have had a podcast at all, but this extra arm in my creative career was part of my well rounded and whole business, being a business and hiring other people to grow my business so that we can all grow further. I mean, can you get a sense of what is the difference? Like, being a business owner means having future plans, having a strategy to grow bigger in scale and services. Basically, freelancing may not have either the opportunity to scale, except for having like a lot of client and going from project to project and project. So freelancing may not have that opportunity, or they may not have the desire to grow that way. All right. So that day, when I was called out and I was asked, are you a freelancer? I realized, no, I'm not. I am not, and I don't want to be called that. I think of myself as a business owner, so I need to operate as a business owner, and I cannot operate as a freelancer that only goes from job to job to job. That is not a well rounded, robust business. And in order for me to build something that I had in mind, I will have to shift my thinking. I will have to shift the needle from being, a photographer who takes up one project after the other to being someone who thinks of the bigger picture, who operates on a long term basis instead of seeing immediate results, past results, or taking small actions which are only relevant for that moment or just for a while, you know? So this big shift has probably been, I will say it's been life changing. If my cousin had not called me out that day, it would have never struck me that the way I approach food photography cannot be like a freelancer or as someone who only goes from job to job. Because you can go from job to job to job to job and you can make a lot of money. But what have you built? What is this you're building? Where is the joy? What is it that you're working for? If it's, all of us are different in this respect. And for me, it was very clear that I was building something. And to build something, it takes time, energy, effort, patience, strategy, vision, and all of those things. And it never comes quickly, easily, overnight. You have to work for it in a long term. You have to play the long game, and you have to be ready to take setbacks, and you have to constantly look only at the big picture. All right. So the moment you are able to shift this in your perspective, that what you're doing today, is it only for today or is it actually helping you build something? Then that might be a huge, huge revolution for you as well. How are you seeing yourself? Where do you want to be? Are you playing the long game, or are you only taking up jobs or only doing things that are giving you gains in the shorter or in the immediate run? But if you're really building something, you will have to make this shift from being just a freelancer to being a business owner. That's your call. That's your personal choice. I'm just sharing with you that this was a very big surprising lesson that came to me while sipping a margarita and being called out. All right, so there you go. 3 surprising lessons that have literally saved my life, saved my business, kept me here, brought me to this point where I can share it with you. Otherwise, I would be sitting behind a desk in a corporate job, 9 to 5, doing something that I probably wouldn't have enjoyed as much. So I discovered them in very hard ways. And I really, really wish I knew them before I started. And I hope that these lessons have come to you in time and that they can save you from curveballs, from seeing unforeseen circumstances, and also get you better prepared for any of those things that might happen. All right. I'm here today only because of all these shifts that I have been able to make. And I'm going to continue to be here and I'm continue to grow and learn because I truly believe that these were lessons that the universe sent to me so that I could continue on this journey and path. And I hope that you take them the same way as lessons that the universe has sent to you through me so you can continue and grow and thrive in this path. All right. This was the 100th episode of the podcast. And this podcast is proof how these lessons have helped me. There was a time that we had to pause the podcast. There was a time where we ran into so many issues, and yet we have only been able to move forward. So, whether it's a podcast, a business, a passionate hobby, a growth mindset, continuous learning, and discipline is all you need to be able to find success. Remember, put mindset as number one on your list to constantly work on, and you'll find the path becoming clearer and clearer and clearer for you. All right. So here's to the 100th episode. Can't wait to bring you another 100 and another 100 after that. Of course, if you have any questions or if you'd like to share something or if you've had surprising lessons, please definitely do share them with me. You know where to find me. You can email me at hello@myfoodlens.com or DM me on Instagram at Gyudama_myfoodlens. Thank you and cheers. And I'll see you next week with another episode. Until then, bye-bye.